I'm going to show you how to make chicken breast in your Instapot from a completely frozen chicken breast. So you'll see I have the bag frozen chicken breast, and I'm going to put it in my Instapot and I will show you how to do it. So as you can see, I'm taking two completely frozen chicken breasts and I'm putting them directly into the Instapot. Right. There's two frozen. They're kind of thick, and I did handle raw chicken, so I want to make sure I'm safe, and I want to make sure that I am washing my hands after I touch raw chicken, even if it's frozen. So now what you need to do is, like we mentioned in the how-to, you have to add a liquid. So you can add either chicken broth or you can add water. So in my case, I'm just going to add some water. I'm going to add 1 cup to my 2 frozen chicken breasts. So add 1 cup in here. And then I'm going to put my lid on. So now I want to make sure that my lid is set to not venting. It needs to be set to sealing. So I'm going to twist that to sealing. So I have my frozen chicken breast and my water in there. So the recipe says to set it on manual pressure, but mine does not have a manual button, so that is completely okay. I'm going to hit it on poultry. And I'm going to hit the plus button because I want it to go for 12 minutes. I put 12 minutes on here because a lot of the recipes say 10, but the last time I did this, it was not completely heated to temperature. You want the internal temperature of the thickest part of the breast to be 165. So I put that on 12 minutes, and you heard it already registered to be on. So we're going to let that go, and then afterwards we will show you how to do a release. You want it 1 minute natural release after this completes. So my pot just told me it was done. It just rang out that it was done. So you will see it says L on here and all zeros. So what that means is it's been 0 minutes since it told me it was finished cooking. So, like I said, we need to let that pressure cook, or let it come to a natural pressure for 1 minute. So when this 0 is at 1 minute, we will relieve some of the pressure that has been built up, and then we'll open the pot. Okay, now it says 1 minute, so I'm going to reach up here and I'm going to go to venting. So be really careful because steam's going to shoot out. And I would make sure to have this pointed somewhere that you didn't care, like a cabinet. You don't want it touching a cabinet top like this right here, or your walls or wallpaper, because it is hot steam and it might peel it off. So I'm going to turn this. One good tip is to get like a spoon or a ladle or something, and then just so you don't have to be so close to it, turn it to your venting. And it's just going to shoot out of there until it's completely come to pressure. And notice this little pin right here. See how it's up? That means the inside is pressurized. So when this comes to pressure and it's okay for me to open it, that pin's going to go down. So you should expect it any time to go down. And there it went. So that means it is safe for me to open. So open it. And there is my fully cooked chicken breast. And my water is still in there. So now what you're going to want to do is to check the internal temperature of these chicken breasts. So I have my thermometer here, so I'm just going to put my probe in the thickest part of the chicken. So this is my thicker piece of chicken. So I'm going to put it in, and I'm not going to put it all the way through. You don't want it to touch the surface of the bottom. You want to see some clear juices running out, and right now I see a little bit of pink. But we are going to see how high it gets. Okay, so this is not getting the temperature. so that's no big deal. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that probe out, and I knew it kind of wasn't because there was still some pink juices coming out of there, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put back on my lid, and I'm going to let it come back to pressure. I've put back on my lid, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit cancel on here because that's still on keep warm on low. So I'm going to turn that off, and because my chicken wasn't cooked completely, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit poultry again, and I'm going to decrease this. We don't want to cook it for another 12 minutes. We want to cook it for, I'd say about 5. We'll bring that up to temperature, and then I'm just going to leave it. It's going to figure out on its own that it's going to have to build pressure again. I'm going to make sure that this is at sealing. So it's registered, it needs 5 more minutes, so I'm going to let that go for 5 more minutes until I reach a proper internal temperature. So because I stuck my probe in essentially raw chicken, because you saw the juices weren't running clear, I want to make sure that I sanitize my thermometer. So I have some alcohol prep pads here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the end of this probe that was into the chicken, and I'm just going to sanitize it real good. And you want to do this before you use your thermometer probe. You want to do this afterwards. That way you're not cross-contaminating your raw meats with each other. And you want to make sure it's completely dry before you stick it in your meat. But I wanted to let you know that you really need to make sure that your thermometer probe is clean because you use it in a variety of different meats. So this has kicked off again for the second time. I'm sorry about this, but this is good troubleshooting, that if you don't reach that temperature, this is what you need to do. So again, we're going to wait until this says 1 minute before we vent this, and then we're going to check it with our thermometer again. Like I said, this is good troubleshooting. You want to make sure that internal temperature, I would have never known if I hadn't had a thermometer. So like I said, you want to make sure that that temperature gets to 165. So at 165, chicken is safe. So make sure we're waiting on this to say 1, and then we're going to relieve the pressure in a quick release. So right now what we're doing is waiting on a natural release for 1 minute, and now we're going to do a quick release. So like I said before, to keep you from burning yourself, just take a long spoon handle and twist this to venting. Things shooting out, totally normal, just what you want. And you see my little button next to it is not down, so I can't open this lid until this button on the side drops down. Almost done. It's dropping down. Okay, so the lid is ready to open. You'll notice a lot of steam shooting out if you've added a lot of water to something. So like things like beans or pastas, you want to make sure you open that away from you because that is hot steam. And there's our chicken again. So we will take our thermometer, and we are going to put it in the thickest part of the chicken breast. You don't want to puncture it all the way through. So okay, I've got it in there, and it's reaching its temperature. We want 165, so don't forget that number. $165. So you see we got that. So the chicken is done. It's complete. Make sure that you sanitize your thermometer. So you see that took anywhere between 12 to 15 minutes. You want to make sure if you put more frozen chicken breast in here, the time is going to be longer. So make sure that you're looking that up and trying different recipes. But the key to this is when cooking chicken on anything, grilling or anything, check that internal temperature.